Members of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, or should I say, good early morning. For you, all you night owls out there, how's everybody doing this morning? I just finished doing a podcast with Paranormal Roundtable, brother Josh Turner and the crew. So I decided to do my live now here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. For those who follow Spiritual Encrypted Encounters on Facebook, and for those who follow HCS TikTok short reels. How y'all doing early this morning? As for me, I'm wide awake right now. I get most of my rest during the day. So here we are. All right, what time is it right now? It's 2:39 in the morning. We're going live here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. I don't know how many of the night owls are awake. I don't know who's asleep, but I'm just gonna go on with the flow of things for right now. Trying to fix this phone here. There we go. I see there's one person that was here in the lobby. They're gone right now. I know probably people are getting ready for 4th of July weekend. So I don't know how long I'm going to be on tonight, or should I say early in the morning. I'm just going to go with the flow of things. How you doing, Roberta 777? I hope you're doing great today. I think, I don't know if I got to do everything right. I placed the title, I guess it didn't take me to certain things that he asked for when I go live. So I might have to correct that afterwards. It says, let me see this community guideline thing real quick. Okay, I'm back. So what I wanted to talk y'all before I start talking, I am doing good. It's I don't know if y'all see the short reels that I create. The short reel that I created earlier today is from Elms Grove Estates, where I had my encounter of what seems to be 6 dogmen slash demonic beings that were in the woods. In that path, I've captured numerous things. I created a short reel of an old picture from like 2013 or possibly 2012, and I created a short reel of it where you could see what seems to be a shapeshifter skinwalker. You can see the face, you can see it wearing the skin or the hide of a coyote, because you can see the face of the coyote on top of the head. I created a short reel earlier and I placed it here. For those who follow me on TikTok, I placed it there also. The one here, I placed where I'm speaking and describing what's in the photo. Here we go. We got a troll. Troll here. That troll's out. Of course, I'm gonna have people that come in here being disrespectful. That's I always get followed by trolls. It's kind of like if they don't like my content or what I'm speaking of, they could go elsewhere. I'm not forcing anybody to be here. I'm just I do my spiritual works here. How you doing, classic game music? Yes, check it out. You're more than welcome to check it out and come back and let me know what you think of it. Good morning, classic game music. Let's see who pops up. I don't know if the regular people that normally come here because it's late. It's 2:30. I'm gonna see what time is it. It's 2:44 in the morning. So some people probably thought, oh, he's not making a video, but here I am. They might be asleep. So of course, I'm gonna have some trolls there. So if y'all want to check it out real quick, check it out and tell me what you think. You got to remember, sometimes the shapeshifter skinwalkers do have the ability to look human or to look like an animal. Uh, at the same time, um, they have the abilities to look in disembodied form, in which you're not able to see them, but they're able to see you. So y'all want to check it out? I just created it yesterday. Uh, I did a show reel of it with, the regular picture, close up other picture, and different filters that you're able to see the face and you're able to see what seems to be a coyote hide over him because you can see the head of the coyote on top, but it's in spirit form or disembodied form. This is what plays different filters there so people can see it. Oh yes, I always I speak about them: skinwalkers, shapeshifters, wendigos. Uh, so you're not supposed to say it out loud. Uh, they always surface up. Uh, where I reside in Central Texas, there's a lot of activity of the shapeshifter skinwalkers in Central Texas. A lot of used to be native land. If y'all know, I used to live near Fort Hood. It's Fort Cavazos now, but all that used to be native land at one point in time, in which there's a lot of, like I said, skinwalker, shapeshifter activity. I've been in Central Texas from 1990, like 1991, all the way till now, 2024. But I lived in Killeen, Texas, which is right by Fort Hood or Fort Cavazos. I lived there let me see, this is 10, 20, like 25 years. Then I moved to Temple, Texas. But I've been living in Central Texas, which I'm able to see how the shapeshifter skinwalker looks, and sometimes they take shadow form. So during the day, you could see them in shadow form figure, where they're not fully manifested, but they're in disembodied form, which looks like you could say like black smoke or a black spirit or shadow being. And I witnessed a lot of that activity. For example, where I used to live in Elms Grove, I witnessed it at the lakes. I witnessed it at trails where you walk, nature trail walks. Witnessed that in Shock Ridge Falls. So there's a lot of activity. And on Fort Hood itself, when I was in the military, I would always witness this shadow figures, whether I'm looking through my sights. They have no heat signature. So when you're seeing them through for example, in the military, your thermal sights, you just see a form, like a shadow form, of something, but it reads no heat signature because it's not something that's living. It's in spirit form. So it's never going to read a heat signature. So it's like a black void or black shadow, and you can see it moving, you know. Yes, they can enter your home in shadow form. I've caught them inside my home, and when I see them, I tell them to leave. They're not welcome here. Sometimes I see them standing in the kitchen. After that eclipse that happened, they really took some dark manifestation where you could literally see them in dark form, where they, I guess, obtained some kind of power from the eclipse. And I see one standing in my kitchen, and I say, "Hey, you're not welcome here," and he took off through the laundry room. Uh, or sometimes I've seen them like trying to be in the hallway, and I tell them to leave. And I have protection. I wear selenites, black tourmaline. Black tourmaline wards off any negative energies. Selenite brings your guardian angels and angels. It's a protection, you know, like pure selenite. It's like a chakra. So I wear this in protection, so because this stores energy. So if something's trying to drain my energy, well, it's going to drain the energy of the selenite. So I wear that as protection. You seen it, Sister Roberta? Yes. It's an old picture, but I've been having it with me. I said, well, I would say technology is going to get better. There's going to be things that we're going to be able to use to make a picture stand out more. So as the years have gone by, we have filters and all kinds of things. So I made the short reel with different filters. The regular picture closer and closer and closer, so you can be able to see what's within the picture. Thank you, Sister Roberta. You can see the coyote head on top of it. Thank you, Sister Lelsey, for tuning in, and of course for being over there in PRT with Brother Josh Turner, Paranormal Roundtable. Still wearing the shirt, his merchandise. I always have a good time there when I'm there. A lot of talk about all kinds of things. How you doing, Brother Alex? I hope you're doing well. It's early in this morning. But yes, in that picture, the showreel that Sister Roberta did a play-by-play on that one. Because normally what I do is sometimes I'll put music, but this time I did a play-by-play. I'm speaking on the short reel, and I'm explaining what's in the picture. And I'm thinking I'm gonna do that more. And the reason I do it that way is so people can open up spiritually and see spiritually what's there. That I don't want to do a circle or put an arrow. I want people to awaken spiritually so they can be able to see what's within the picture. And that's what we're supposed to be spiritually ready at all times for these things. Things like this I would always capture there in Elms Grove. They would surface up. They wouldn't just surface up. They will come in numbers. When I talk about shadow beings, um, of an Ophanum angel, that would be nice to see, Sister Roberta. I got Spiritual Encrypted Encounters on Facebook. Also, I got a group there. Whoever wants to join there is more welcome to share pictures or stories there. Also, I don't mind. Y'all share your pictures, whatever you capture. Uh, yes, I have a lot of pictures that I haven't posted because I want to work on them because it was old pictures from when I was in that area. There was a lot of activity that would happen all the time. The things that would happen For example, growlings. I could hear movement and growlings. I could hear sometimes somebody coughing, somebody laughing while I'm investigating the woods, or I could hear somebody running around me, like running in circles around me. You could hear the footsteps as they're running. So I figured there was some kind of activity there. So I used to have a good camera from AT&T. I went in there, took it, and it broke on me. Like the glass shattered and the lens got cracked. So then I started buying cheap cameras, like from Family Dollar, just because, I said if I'll spend like $40 for something or $49. So if it breaks, I'm not losing that much money. So same thing would happen with those cameras. The batteries will blow up, or the lenses would crack, and the phone will be good no more. Um, but a lot of the pictures, some of the pictures are from the times that I'll go in that area. There was a lot of spiritual activity in there, uh, shadow figure activity, or shadow be. I say shadow figures, or we call them bulto negros in Spanish. Uh, Let me see. Let me read some of these comments here. Well, it's just when they encircle you, uh, they're trying to see if they can find a spiritual opening on you. You're gonna get scared. That's why they make the growling sounds to see if they can scare you, or a coughing sound, a laughing sound, or a running sound. They do that just to see if you're gonna start believing in what's theirs, because they're trying to find an opening on you. So you have to, how should I say, maintain your love foundation. If you believe in Jesus Christ, go into prayer sometimes, because they come in numbers. So when you think you're dealing with one or two or three, you might be dealing with like 14 of them. So that's why you have to go to prayer, because you don't want to get spiritually attacked out there, or spiritually drained. And normally when you go into prayer, they 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 flee from you. They leave you alone, and you're able to walk out of that space, out of there safely. But you have to go into prayer. In Kentucky from Kansas. Yeah, I used to live in basic training, I went to Fort Knox, Kentucky. Yes, they're able to manifest. What people don't understand, that the shadow beings are not just, especially when they're dark shadow beings. That's letting you know by itself that that's not a spirit. That's letting you know, because of the dark of nature that there are bad spirits, demonic spirits. That's why they take that manifestation of the dark shadow figure, and you're hearing the growlings, and when you're hearing laughing, they're literally mocking you, because they're very close to you, trying to find that opening to attack you spiritually. When I go investigate, I go spiritual ready. I pray before, if I have to pray during the investigation, or I pray after when I leave the woods, and I say, for nothing to attach itself to me, and not the for nothing to follow me, and then I say, I take authority over you in Jesus Christ's name. If there's anything in my personal space or around me, and I say, I type and rebuke you through Jesus Christ's name, so they won't be able to follow me back to my house. But since it's part of spiritual warfare, they still come. I mean, you'll be protected to make it to your house, but then maybe later on that night, or a day later, uh, when they surface up, you see them, and they come in numbers. They'll come like it's kind of like because they're or like if they're native spirits, and sometimes what the natives would do because they didn't want to die by the hands of other natives. Uh, they would get the whole family together, and they will form a circle. They would cut their wrist because they didn't want to die in the hands of the enemy, so they would cut themselves, commit suicide in that manner as a family. So when the spill blood will spill in the morning when the sun will rise, the one will come out from the center of the circle when the sun will rise. And the one is a dark being. When you think of these shadow beings, they're a dark being. You could say they're like a demigod of some sort. But because of the blood sacrifice, they come out, and they have many abilities. They have the ability to shapeshift into anything within within the elements of Mother Nature itself. They can make voices, and they they they're created for vengeance, right? That's what they come to do harm because of the whatever the family they killed themselves, what the prayer was. So they come and attack people. That's what they do. They a lot of havoc. They can cause deaths. They can cause accidents. They can go into a person's home and drain their energy. But that's what they're do. They're malevolent demonic spirits, and you can see them at nighttime when they surface up and they're coming out of the woods. Like where I used to live, we had lights within the park, and there are lights in our streets, and you can see them out there in the park, where there be like 20 strong, and they're pretty tall, like a 7 to 9 foot tall shadow beings roaming the park. And at times you could see them roaming all the way to where the mobile homes were, where they would go through the walls. They even have the ability to open and close doors. They can they can open your door, close your door, open sliding doors. Uh, Ability to pick up things and throw things, uh, rocks, wood, whatever. Uh, that will be like their number one. I should say they can do those things. They can make contact with you. Like if you can feel like somebody hitting you in the back, like with a fist. You feel the blow, and when you look, there's nobody there, but they have the ability to do those things. That will be awesome to see, Sister Roberta. And we got a troll here, and the troll is gone. Uh, the troll is a person that always trolls me because he never puts out no good content, has no wisdom and knowledge about anything. But I got rid of him. We're not going to talk about him tonight. Every time he surfaces up, I'm just going to put him out. He has many fake profiles. I'm reading the comments here. The Hanuman from Hindu. Wouldn't mind seeing that. That would be awesome. Uh, Dylan, are they responsible for sleep paralysis? Yes, they can. The ones that are responsible for sleep paralysis will be like the succubus, incubus, but they do have those capabilities to affect you in that manner. Uh, they can go through objects, and they can go into people. So they do have the capability to mess with you in that manner also. Yes, they can pretend if they're like their children laughing. Dirty Mike, get the hell out of here, man. Get out of here. Yes, that's what it is. It's a shadow figure, and I'm just letting you right know, Jace. They're never alone. There's always others. They be hiding in the trees, hiding on top of the high branches. They could be they could be in disembodied form. They could be floating over your home. You don't even know it. They can just they can come from the ground up, from underneath the ground, and be right behind you. You don't even know it. They're that sneaky. Uh, yeah, you can send it to me. How you doing? How you doing, brother Benny Blanco? How you doing today? Somerset alive? Yes, I believe you. I used to work at uh the land. It has to do with the land. Like here in Central Texas, a lot of the land used to be native. Well, used to be native land at one point in time, right? So there's a lot of activity. You know, shadow figures, shadow beings. I call them shadow figures. In Spanish, they're bultos. Uh, that kind of activity, and that's probably what they're witnessing at nighttime. If I was you, I would get me a piece of black tourmaline to protect you. That warns off anything negative, and a piece of selenite. Keep it on you at all times. It'll protect you from them. I carry this with me, you know, of course, the ultimate protector, Jesus Christ. But this will help too. Yes, I'm on Facebook, Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Uh, the same name is here. It's on Facebook. You can send a request to join the group, and I'll add you after I finish the live. Whoever wants to join, same name is here, and on there, I have a lot of photos. I have videos, short reels, um, and you can place any content that you like to place on there. I don't mind. You know, you want to share something to the group, you're more than welcome. You know, place a picture. You know where it happened, what it is. You know, and stuff like that. I don't mind. Okay. Summer side of life says Agree Harbor. Where we are, there is graveyard. There's more than 30 graves. 90% of them died from a grasp back in 1910. So that could be some of the activity that you're capturing there is from those people that died there, that their spirits are there in that area. In Central Texas, there was an area where water rose, and there was like a town that went underwater, or a little location where there was people that lived that went underwater, and those people died. And there's all kinds of activity, spiritual activity there. There's shadow beings. I've encountered them even when I was in the military. Like I said, on base. Uh, when I would go to the nature trail walks, I would encounter them. You know, I have the spiritual gift to be able to see spiritually. So I'm going through this nature trail walks during the day, and I'm seeing this big dark shadow figures moving real fast, and they stop and look at me. And I'm looking at them. They take off real fast, and they go to another path, and they're way below me, and they're looking at me. You know, and they're traveling like in twos and threes. So it's kind of like they know I can see them, so they're just showing themselves to me, like letting me know, hey, this is our area, this is our territory. Don't be coming here. You know, it's kind of like letting me know you're not welcome here. Yes, a river or a creek or a lake does have limestone. If there's limestone on the ground, limestone is an energy conductor where there's a lot of paranormal activity when there's limestone on the ground. I believe certain locations, like here in Texas, there's a lot of limestone, in which you catch a lot of activity. Arizona has a lot of limestone. So limestone, it triggers the paranormal activity to happen because it stores energy. So the spirits, that's what they use to manifest themselves at nighttime. How you doing, brother? All yes, a water source could be another source. Another thing they can get energy, right? Would be a water source or the limestone. If there's any power lines around, power lines or even like the 5G towers, that can cause uh, activity to happen also because of the energy that's running through the lines. Um, that's where they surface up, like in areas where there's some sort of energy conductor. We have very fine sand. I see. Yes, the limestone. If there's limestone on your property, if there's limestone on the, that's they can get energy from the limestone to manifest. So that's why you catch a lot of paranormal activity, especially if your town is built over limestone. You know, if your whole town is out of limestone or your home is sitting on limestone, that can have. That's why you catch a lot of paranormal activity from the limestone itself. Uh, the area I go to, there is a power plant out there, and I catch all kinds of activity because of the energy from the power plant. If they can't get no energy, well, they're going to get the energy off your battery. If you have a clock with a little battery, you might take the energy off of that. Anything with an energy source, or it's going to go try to go after your energy. That's why, what do you think they go into trees? Because trees, they have energy from the sun, right? Because of the branches that are growing. So they go drain the energy off the trees. That's why they go into trees. So when they go into a home, you have electricity in your house. So they're going to try to drain as much energy as possible from throughout your home to be able to have some energy to manifest itself even stronger. Uh, what other materials do they manifest themselves? Well, since they're disembodied spirits, they can manifest into many things. For those who know, uh, there was elementals that were created before man. Some were made out of fire, water, vapor, smoke, uh, mud, like different things that are created of Mother Nature itself. So they can manifest into anything. There's some of the things it can manifest to look like a person, but it could be in the form of branches and leaves. But it can take a manifestation that way. It can take a manifestation looking like a pile of rocks. You know, that's what they do. They have those abilities to manifest that way. Yes, the degens are the same thing. No different than the entities that are here, because they're demonic, demonic in nature. Some of the powers that they have, like the skinwalker shapeshifters, is through witchcraft and necromancy. Witches, warlocks, some that are not here no more, but there were witches and warlocks. Whatever deal that they agreed upon, they have the ability, right, to be able to manifest into something. Uh, that's what a shapeshifter skinwalker is. They dabbled with the witchcraft and necromancy. It was taught to them by what people call the Bigfoots, what people want to call dogmens, uh, because they're demonic in nature. So they're the one. That's where they learned that from them. So now that they're gone, the flesh is gone, but the spirit still remains. So they're kind of like, you could say, they get their powers through witchcraft and necromancy from what was taught to them by the demons. So they have the abilities, kind of like a demon, right? Because that's what they learned it from. So they're able to manifest it to anything and mimic anything. Uh, you hear somebody, a family member, somebody calling you to the woods, and there's no way your family is there because they live out of state. They're not living in your town. Then it's not the loved one that's calling you. It's most likely a skinwalker, shapeshifter, something demonic, or the degen. That's how they lure you into the woods. I believe they've lured many people in that nature, children especially. You know, they befriend them, say they're in a manifestation of something. Like I said, they can manifest into anybody. They could be mimicking their parents, a brother, a sister, and they tell them, "Hey, come over here. I want to show you something." And they follow them in. Next thing you know, they're gone because they took them somewhere else because they were believing it was their brothers, their sister, their mother, their father, whoever, whatever manifestation they took. That's They get deceived. So I believe that's why we have a lot of missing cases of not just children but people that just disappear from the face of the earth. How you doing, Muslim Vision? Yes. Sister Roberta said in the beginning the skinwalkers used to guard the Navajo. They know exactly the same of the medicine man but turned dark. Yes. They can move very rapidly. Just put it that way. When you see, I've seen them in disembodied form. It literally covered 70 yards in 1 second, or probably less than a second. When they're in spirit form, they can move very rapidly. I have a short reel that I created where one manifests out of nowhere, but it looks like beastly, but it's in spirit form, and it reaches me real quick. Like if you blinked your eye, you will miss it. I was able to lower the speed on the video so you can be able to see it. So I could be able to capture it on camera. So I went from 1 second to about 3 to 5 seconds when I lowered the speed. But besides that, it would be like it can cover 100 yards in 1 second, or faster, because it's in disembodied form. You want to say wind form. It can cover terrain very rapidly. Yes, the thing to find the real name of them, and I'm not trying to find the real name. When I see them, I just The only thing I can tell them is it's tied behind the Rick and Jesus Christ name. Exactly. It, they're in spirit, so they have time in their advantage, which when you think uh, time is going fast, it's not really going fast. It's kind of like you lose a track of time. You caught up in a like a time warp. I have a video when I'm out there and I say something, and it's the same thing. I'm repeating the same thing like 4 times, and I'm like, wait a moment, I just said it 1 time, but on the video, I say it 4 times, like I'm trapped in time. So I kind of like at least 4 to 5 seconds when I said the same thing over and over and over and over. So it's kind of like I got caught up in a location where there's no time, and it happened all throughout the video. That was the first time something like that has happened in my videos. There's one that it was 4 times, 3 times, 2 times. It was just weird, and in the video I lose. It's kind of like I lose a track of time because I lose part of the videos. Like I lose certain. It's not. It plays the video, but I'm missing parts of the video where there was no time. So it's kind of like the video is missing footage. You know what I'm saying? Because of those time lapses, I'm missing footage from the video, like a lot of footage. Oh yeah, I got pictures of glitches where I capture them through a glitch, how they look. But yeah, it's kind of like a glitch, but the glitch, it's all messed up. Well, no, this is just where I'm missing parts of the video. Like I'm missing time in the video of because it's not glitching at all. It's just I'm missing several parts of the video. Basically, that's what it is. I'm missing parts of the video where I'm saying something and then it jumps to another part, and I'm saying something and then it jumps to another part. But it's not glitching, because I do have some videos where it's glitched, but there's no glitches happening. It's just a loss of time. So if I were looking the video with the times I repeated myself to all the parts of the video that are missing, that's lost time. So if I'm here, I'm probably behind in time, like because I lost time, because I got caught up in in a time where there's no time. So I probably lost time. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, I don't know. All I know is that I lost time. But I have been getting a lot of rest after that video. I just haven't gone back. The one that would glitch a lot is when I would do the videos through Facebook. So I said, okay, I'm doing a different app. I'm gonna do it through TikTok. So I did a video through TikTok. The video looked good. It's just those time lapses. I'm missing time in the videos, and especially when I'm repeating myself over and over 4 or 5 times, it's like, well, what's going on here? And I do have a picture of one that is looking at me from in the trees, and it's got like a white glow to its eyes. A dark shadow being that's looking at me. It looks like a dark shadow figure. If you get a close look up at it, it looks like it has like a snout of a dog, or what people want to call a dog man. But it's a dark shadow. But it's just all dealing with the same thing. Shapeshifter, skinwalker. I believe that's what they are. There's one day when I had done a video where I'm walking and it was glitching that day was glitching real bad. I literally seen a dark shadow figure floating behind me, looking at me. He was floating like 2, 3 feet off the ground, and he was looking at me. And I turned around to try to catch it, but it moved real fast. He was like looking at me, like it was during the day, and I was able to see it. I couldn't catch it on camera because it was moving very rapidly. So that's why I went back. When I went back, I went to the location where I seen it floating, and I was able to capture it within the tree line. Now, for it to be able to do something like that, it's got to have some kind of energy, you know. And there's times when that day that I lost track of time, when I was walking my way out, it's like it felt like I was carrying somebody on my back. You know, it's like I have felt a lot of weight on me. You know, that I went into prayer, I was able to walk out of there and everything, but I was tired after that. It's kind of like carrying somebody either in your back or on your shoulders, because you feel a lot of weight on you. Yes. My cousin Jesse, he's got a story he can share with y'all. Maybe one day that I'll bring him on. He comes out here sometimes. He's not here right now. He's asleep, but he he that happened to him. You know, with my aunt, which is his mother. That happened. You know, and he'll share the story. I can get him to share the story with y'all. What he encountered. But I will see that when I was growing up. I will find either like little bottles of perfume or had something that seemed like perfume. I will find not just that. I would literally find dead cats hanging from the fence in my backyard, split down the middle, where somebody ripped them down the middle, and guts are hanging out of them. And they'll be hanging from the fence where somebody was placing them there. I was always, you know, I didn't want my brother and sisters to see them. So I would get the next door neighbor, you know, I would tell him, hey, one of your cats is on our fence. I don't know, something happened to it. So he would get it and bury the cats, you know. But they were like literally gutted, where the guts were, not just gutted where the guts were missing, but they left the guts hanging out of the cats, you know. And I don't know how that could happen, you know. The only way that could happen if somebody placed them there because they're doing witchcraft on you. There was thank you all for tuning in, man. I really appreciate y'all. For all the new people here, you're welcome to. You know, I'm glad there's people interacting with me because I'm able to speak. It's better when there's interaction because I'm able to speak the stories. But yes, uh, the cats with guts hanging out. I never found like a dog. It was always cats. So somebody was killing cats and hanging them in the back of our yard on the fence. Yes, sorcery and witchcraft. There was one day, you know, it was when I was a little bit older. I was working out. I was a teenager. I was working out with the weights. It was like around 10 o'clock at night. And I said I was thirsty, so I went inside because it was real humid outside. I went inside to drink some water, and as I was stepping out of my home, I tripped on something on the steps. There was something on the steps, and I hit very hard on the ground. So I'm trying to figure out what's on the steps, and I feel a face of something. It had big ears. What I found on my front steps was a head of a baby donkey. Literally the head of a baby donkey that somebody placed it there. From the time I walked in, drank a cup of water, and went outside, and I tripped over it. And I believe it had to do with witchcraft and necromancy. That because I didn't see nobody out there, uh, that it manifested there in that form, right? So I didn't want my brothers and sisters that were younger than me to see it. I had blood in my hands from it. So I took the little head of the donkey and I took it to the back of the alley and get it off, got it off the property, and I put it there. And then I went back and washed my hands with a outside water hose. But yes, that kind of activity. Oh, you can check if somebody is trying to do something like that. I always check underneath. Another places to check is underneath your bed, underneath your mattress, underneath your pillow, or inside your pillowcase, because sometimes people can put something even in your pillow. So just be careful because they can do that kind of stuff. They'll put something where you least expect it, but that's when you're fighting spiritually, and people are coming against you through witchcraft and necromancy. Oh yeah, I just went to go drink some water. I went out and I tripped, and I was looking around. There's nothing around. My dogs wasn't there, and it's like, where did this come from? Sometimes I would hear because when we keep our house light on, I could hear somebody yelling or growling real nasty from an abandoned house, or should I say abandoned empty lot, where you could hear something hitting something very hard and they're growling, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on, who's doing this. But there's a lot of witchcraft and necromancy down in near the borders where I grew up in the Rio Grande Valley. Man, I'm beginning to like this hat from Paranormal Round Table. I got the shirt on, and this hat looks pretty nice. His wife was a witch. She died before him, and we found my hair under her bed with all sorts of demonic objects. Oh wow! Sorry to hear that, Deborah. Yeah, I believe that. I've had encounters. No, we talk about, we just go with the flow here in spiritual and cryptid encounters. And so we're talking about this, some of this dark shadow beings that surface up is because of witchcraft and necromancy. Uh, when we talk about shapeshifters, skinwalkers, is that's dealing with witchcraft and necromancy. So they have those abilities. When a witch or warlock try to cast a spell on you, and they might summon something. If you see dark shadow figure, it's because most likely somebody sent it your way. But you gotta remember one thing, that you have authority over any principalities through Jesus Christ. So you're able to say, welcome around me, around my home. I tie, bind, and rebuke you in Jesus Christ's name. Go back to the sender. So whoever sent it to you is going to go right back to them, in which is part of spiritual warfare. You don't have to accept anything, anything negative. Just deflect it. Don't accept it. Send it away. That's what you do. If you see the objects like Sister Deborah's seen, uh, don't grab it with your hands. Put on some gloves, or you could sweep it up with something, put it in a bag, and just throw it in the trash. Don't touch it with your physical hands. Just pick it up without touching it. Summerside of Live. I won one of their PRT shirts. I'm waiting for it. They have to ship it all the way to Western Canada. Awesome. I know Canada has a lot of stories of Probably like Bigfoot stories, but I believe that they're all related. The these dark shadow figures or shapeshifter skinwalkers. If Canada has shapeshifter and skinwalkers, they probably have a different name over there. What would be the name of a shapeshifter skinwalker in Canada? Isn't it called the Wendigo in Canada? Yeah, you have to keep your house spiritually cleansed. I got all kinds of minerals here. Keep bracelets. I keep my house protected. Um, if I stop. It's like I noticed that everywhere I moved, there was always activity following me. So I said, you know what? I'm not running no more. I'm making my spiritual stance, and s- protect my home, so nothing will be able to come into the home. So that's what I do. That's why I created spiritual encrypted encounters for those who want understanding, or you probably do already have the wisdom and knowledge because the people before you done talked about it. Your grandmother, great grandmother, and it's within you. But I'm here just to awaken my brothers and sisters spiritually to be able to fight these things. There's people that say that I've had come in here and say the only Savior is Jesus Christ, which is true. But I've been not everybody has been spiritually tested. So that person that's telling me that he might have never been spiritually tested. I just wonder what he's gonna do if he does get spiritually tested. But my path is not being in a congregation. My path in life has been always been being in the front lines, uh, fighting spiritually, in that sense of way of the balance. So that's why I created this show, Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. When you've been through it and you experience it, you understand it because you've been through it. So, I could have a lot of people that dislike what I'm saying because they don't believe what I'm saying. But there's a lot of people that know exactly what I'm saying because they've been through it and they witness the same things that I've seen and they have understanding. I'm just here for people to understand it even more, right? The things to do, the things not to do. This is what spiritual encrypted encounters is about. Oh yes, I was in Operation Desert Storm. I was in the front lines in the Battle of Medina Ridge in Operation Desert Storm. Out there, so we're talking about black shadow beings. I witnessed what they call the gen. I witnessed it out there in combat, in the middle of combat, where we were fighting and the Medina Republican Guard, and had already destroyed most of their tanks in the Battle of Medina Ridge, and it's like the biggest tank battle that was out there. And then there's people holding white flags, which means surrender. So if people are holding the white flag through the Geneva Convention or Geneva law, you're not supposed to shoot at them because they're giving up. Well, the Degen wasn't having that. The Degen saying those people that were holding the white flags trying to surrender, it was hovering in the air, went straight down and went into the first guy holding the flag. He dropped the flag. I could see the Degen in him where he smiled and his eyes were yellowish. Then he picked up the AK-47. Boom, that guy gets eliminated. As the body's falling, the Degen jumps out. He goes on to the next, and on to the next, and on to the next, because he was making every person holding a white flag drop the flag, pick up a weapon. So the Degen was in full force out there spiritually. in Operation Desert Storm. Talk about fighting the enemy, and then the enemy within the enemy. It was bad, man. I witnessed it. Yes, uh, because in areas of war or anywhere where there's division and chaos, there's spiritual openings, or you can have spiritual openings right now. Believing in other things is one of them. Right? People that believe in Bigfoots, people that believe in werewolves. If there are demons in disguise, well, then you're actually believing in the demon. So that's a spiritual opening. Fear factor. When that manifests to look like a Bigfoot, a dogman, or the shadow beings, or anything. They do it for the fear factor because fear is a spiritual opening. If you got hatred, anger, or vengeance in your heart, that's a spiritual opening. If you have unforgiveness, that's a spiritual opening. Plus, generational curses could travel because of the unforgiveness that you have in your heart. So if you can correct that, because forgiveness is part of love, you eliminate the generational curses. You take care of any openings. You eliminate anything trying to attack you spiritually, in which through the forgiveness and the love through Jesus Christ, He blesses you for forgiving in true faith and to believe in Him with the spiritual gifts of discernment. That you're able to see things and sense things that are around you because they have to identify themselves to you through spiritual law. They have to identify themselves to you so you can know what you're dealing with. Just like when the Legion identified them to Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ already knew that the man was possessed. He knew that the Legion had control of him, right? But they still identified themselves to him who they were. So He cast them into the herd of pigs. How you doing, Sister Nelly? We got Overbuilt Automotive. How you doing? How you doing, Runner? So, I witnessed the degen out there, and they're no different than the shadow beings that are here in Central Texas that are supposedly shapeshifter skinwalkers, or I call them disembodied demonic Nephilim because of the abilities that they have. But all that comes through the witchcraft and necromancy. If you run into something, don't run away from it, because that means that you're fearing it. So it's gonna, as fast as say something that's in disembodied form can travel, it'll go right in you real rapidly. You stand your spiritual ground and you fight spiritually through Jesus Christ. That's how you fight. Don't give it power because they're manifesting and making noises in your house, or like me, what would happen to me sometimes I hear growlings outside of my home that sound real loud, and I'm like, okay, my dogs are asleep, I know it's not my dogs. Or sometimes I might see movement, like the shadow figure movements. I've seen them take the lechuza form. I was doing a video in my backyard one day, and I seen the lechuza, the witch, in lechuza form, or you want to call it harpy form. And she picked from around the tree and was looking at me. I was looking at her, and I was just trying to see what she was going to do. But I started praying within myself, the Our Father, and I was doing a live like this. And I started praying the Our Father, and she just flew away instead. Instead of trying to do something to me, she flew away. So, yes, like I said, they have to identify themselves to you through spiritual law. When I capture the things on video, they're showing themselves to me because they're identifying themselves to me through spiritual law. They have to, you know. So if they get close to my space, they have to identify themselves. So that's why I capture a lot of the footage that I capture. I create the short reels because I capture it through video. Dylan Page said, "I seen a white dot go across the screen." I felt something when you said that. Before that, I felt something like pass, like spirit behind me, because I felt something in my ear, like wind. It's another thing, brothers and sisters. Uh, some of the locations, the way they try to enter your body is through uh, your senses, your tear ducts, nose, mouth, ears, and your privates. They can try to enter to there. Uh, that's when you get spiritually attacked. They like to enter that way through your senses. You know, succubus and incubus, they target private areas. Uh, Unclean spirits, like shapeshifters, skinwalkers, the things that I call the DD, disembodied demonic Nephilim. They try to enter your senses. The reason they try to enter through your senses that way because they're trying to bond you. So if they can bond your senses, then you're not able to identify them. So that's why we have to uh, maintain a love foundation always. Yeah, when I go investigate, I go during the day. I can go through when I go at nighttime. I always cash when I go out there investigate. I always cash growlings and red eye shine, which the red eye shine stand for something demonic. There was one time I went out there and I literally seen like a form of a woman, and she made a banshee sound, like a screech, you know, where they're, like a banshee sound. So when I was investigating there, I started getting an image of some people dressed in black, like a cult. So I said, okay, it's time for me to leave. So I got out of that area and I walked past my car because I continued to make the video. In the parking lot, I was underneath the light. So as I was talking to whoever was viewing it late at night, I think it was like one or two people, I heard hoof marks, hoofs coming towards me. And I said, I typed under rebuke in Jesus Christ's name, and they stopped. So yes, I've caught a lot of activity. It's kind of like that saying goes: you have to be there you have to be there to understand it. Yes, Sister Nelly. Love is the greatest gift of all spiritual gifts. Because without love, then all the other spiritual gifts will be meaningless. Why would that be? Because that would mean that if you don't have love, then you're being bonded by something else. Because if you don't have the love, that means you will have some kind of spiritual opening in which your spiritual gifts will get bonded. But whatever else you can do, you must still have the gifts, but you're not going to be able to utilize them to their fullest without a love foundation. That's why it's important to maintain your love foundation. I pray every day because sometimes people come up against me in a negative way. I forgive people daily, but yes, it's one of those things that practice what you preach, you know. And spiritually, that's part of the balance. The people that are evildoers, they're going to come up against you in a negative way because they're trying to find a spiritual opening. No difference than when a demonic entity or something unclean comes at you. They're trying to find a spiritual opening. So when people come at you in a negative way, it's because that's a true nature. So their true nature is they're already siding with the other side of the balance, or possibly they might be being used, or they might be part of a cult being used to come against you to see if they can find an opening. And me, I can talk like Sarncias and make it seem like I'm mad, but I know the game. I know, I've been through the spiritual battles. So when people think that they got me upset of some kind of sort because I'm gonna say something, it's not necessarily that I'm mad. I know what is part of the game. So all I'm trying to do is, how should I say it? Because if they think I'm upset, they're going to come at me harder spiritually. So to me, I say, okay, they're bringing it, but I'm not accepting it. So what does that mean? That it's got to go back to them. So it goes back to the sender, because I'm not allowing any form of negativity, whether it is negative comments, or they're trying to do some witchcraft for necromancy, or they're sending something away. I'm not allowing anything in my foundation. So it has to go back to the sender. So imagine them trying to do some harm to you spiritually, and when it backfires on them, it's literally them doing harm to themselves because it's going back to them 7 times fold. That's what normally happens. Yeah. That's one thing I've learned throughout all my years of fighting spiritually is that I've never been afraid of whatever manifestation, whether it was the lechuza, the bruja, because I was always felt the presence of the Heavenly Father around me. In which, when you feel the Heavenly Presence around you, He gives you no fear. He can give you the strength of Hercules, or the strength of Samson. He can give you speed faster than the unseen. He can give you abilities that He can bless you with to overcome what you're facing. Heavenly Father can do that. That's why I'm going to tend my faith and believe in Him. But of course, in order for people to understand, we have to talk about everything, right? That's why we're talking about shadow beings, shapeshifter skinwalkers, the djinn. I'll share a story with y'all if y'all want to hear the story. I've shared it before, but there's a lot of new people here. For those that don't know, when I was something happened to my brother. I was 3 years old. My brother was 5, and my brother was seeing, because he had high fevers. At the time of the yellow fevers and all that, back in the early 70s. My older brother, he was always seeing spiders and snakes and screaming because of the high fevers, and his hand was messed up some, his left leg was messed up some, and he was always falling down on the ground. The doctors from the U.S. couldn't find a cure for him, so they said that he was going to live because the fevers were too high, that his brain was going to not work no more because of the high fevers. So there was this medicine woman from Tamaulipas, Reynosa, that she said she could heal him, but if she healed him, that I would have to stay with her for a while, right? I remember when we went there, my aunt took me. It was me and my brother in the back seat, my aunt and my mother in the front. It was a green Impala. Now I got a good memory. Yeah, it was a green Impala. Those old Impalas from back in the day, long ones. Went there. I remember when we got into Reynosa, the floors were like bricks or adobe, where you could feel bumps because of the streets the way they were made. I remember getting to the woman's house. You could see an outdoor latrine, outhouse, and her house was right there to the right. We walked in. There was a room, and she called us to the other room. And in the other room is where she would do her spiritual works. And my brother was there, and she healed him. She had this egg, and she started praying over him. She was a real good medicine woman, and she grabbed the egg and was over his body and everything like that. And when she cracked the egg, there was a black baby chick that came out of there. It had a broken wing and a broken leg, and it died, but my brother survived. She was so good that she told my mother that somebody, a dark witch, she said the name of the witch. I'll just say her first name. Her name was Maria. That was the name of the witch. Like I said, I got a good memory. Uh, that she said who done him the wrong, and she said that she was gonna send it back to her 7 times fold, right? Send it back to that dark witch. So I seen my brother and my mother leave, and I stayed there with her. I seen her heal a lot of people, that she healed when I was small, 3 years old. I would see the patients come in where their head were hurting, or the body parts, some certain body parts were hurting, and she would go up to them. She would pull out like scorpions out of their head, snakes, pieces of barbed wire, pieces of glass. I could literally see her spirit go into the people's bodies when she's pulling out the things. I could see her spirit. 3 years old, I could see her spirit going into the bodies as she's healing these people. There's times where these people, she wasn't pulling out anything physically, but I was seeing this shadow figure beings, demons come out of their bodies. Some might have had one, some might have two. I think the most I've seen was the 3 or 4 coming out of one person that was being demonized. And I could see them because her floor was made out of dirt, and she would just sweep it in. The floor was kind of like hard because she was always sweeping it, and she had a fire in that room on the ground, a hole where there was a fire. So I'll be in my little bed, I was like in a little bed sitting down, and I would see her do the works on the other side of the room. And I could see this, well, I'll call it DDN, people want to call them the degen or the shadow figures, whatever they want to call them. I could see how they looked, like their beastly look. I could see them, no different than what I've encountered in Elms Grove. Some were taller than others, some were small, some were tall, and I could see them leaving their bodies. And she looked at me, and she would tell me in Spanish, "Ya se fueron," which means, "Are they gone?" And I will point, and she'll tell me, "¿Cuántos eran?" How many were there? And I'll give them, with my fingers, 2, 3, 4, however many there were that would leave the person's body. And I would just point where they would leave because she would take authority over them to leave those people. Most of these people had hexes on them, where witches and warlocks were doing hexes on them. So they would leave their body. Those people would become better. So we did this a lot. We did this a lot. Helped out a lot of people would come to her. When we go to the market square to go get, she would always make me homemade corn tortillas out of scratch, and I like eating refried beans. So that was my favorite that she would make me, and I would always eat it, and she would just making me food all the time, you know, the refried beans with a corn tortilla. Uh, so I was we'll go to the market. We'll go to the market. They had the bushels, you know, of different fruits and stuff like that. And the people would run away from her. Old woman, men would run away from her. Children would run away from her. And she would look at me, and she had like a patch on her where was the patch? Was it right eye? Had a patch on her eye where she was missing an eye. And she would ask me, why do they run away from me? So are they afraid of me? And then she looked at me and said, are you afraid of me? And I would grab her from the leg and say, love you. On the side I would say, love you. Then she would lift her eye patch, and I could see the hole. And she would ask me, are you scared of me now? And I said, love you, you know. Then she just put her eye patch down and just go like this, you know, like show me a little bit of how should I say, affection, you know, like, let's go over here. But you know, now that I'm older and more wiser, I knew why those people were running away from her. It wasn't the people that were running away from her. It was the demons or the unclean spirits that were bonding the people that was running away from her because she had the ability to cast them out. So that's why they were running away from her. Not because she was a bad person, because of the ability that she had. Let me see some of this comments here. So this is what happened one night. So I'm gonna continue. I was reading the comments. I was in my room, in the room where I had my little bed, and I could hear her arguing with somebody. You know, she wasn't in the room because she had her bed there. She was like protecting the door, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. And she would tell me, "No, you go back in there." I said, "No, back in there." And I could hear like the chusas, like they got their claws, and she's blocking me from trying to look out there, what's going on. You know, I'm trying to figure out what's going on because she's fighting spiritually. That's what she was doing, fighting spiritually. And when I look, I go around her because she's blocking the door, like putting her body on the line so nobody can come in, right? And look, my hairs are standing up just by reliving this moment. Y'all see that? So she's blocking the door because there's 6 lechusas, which is a witch in a harpy form or lechusa form, or owl form, on the trees, and they're pretty big. And there's like 6 other witches standing on the ground. And I look at them, and they point at me, and they say, "It's your." Well, this is what they were. This is what their discussion was about. They were mad because when the 7 times 4 went back, the witch that did my brother wrong, she passed away, right? So they were mad, and they're telling, "You want to make this right?" So we already told you not to be helping anybody out, that we do this or that to them. So you want to make this right? Give them to us. Like they wanted to take me, right? And she said, "No, you can't take them." And then I was looking at them, and I was telling them, you know, like I wasn't afraid of them. I'm not afraid. I would tell them, I'm not afraid. You know, I was small, 3 years old. And we fought all that night spiritually. I remember, and I was right there with her, side by side, fighting spiritually against this um, brujas, dark witches. That passed, and I don't know how long I was there. All I know, I was there for a while. I remember being in the outdoor restroom, outhouse. When I come out of here, a woman yelling my name, and I'm looking at the woman. She's crying, and I don't recognize her, you know. And then it's me, and I'm looking. It says, it's me. I'm your mother, you know. Like I said, I don't know how long I was there. Uh, I never recognized her after a while, like she said she was my mother. And then we went there to talk to the medicine woman that she was there to pick me up. She told my mother that I was gifted, that if she wants to, that she could raise me up to be her, be with her. But my mother said no, I just came because of the deal. So she finally come and got me, and then she took me back to the States. I just don't remember. No, the curandera has always had a special place in my heart because I seen that she had love in her, in spite of if she was fighting magic with magic or whatever. She still had some kind of love in her. That she even put her body on the line to protect me from those evil witches. And me at the age of 3 years old. When I came back to the States, well, they had it for me, right? So I was under her protection no more. So they came to my house. Uh, they come, the same numbers. They came to my house, and man, I don't know how many years of torment that not just me, but my brothers and sisters and my mother had to go through. Every Saturday night, they would surface up. They would come. And we're going to, my mother be going in prayer, and you could hear the talent sounds. Then you hear like whisperings. Then you hear them laughing like women. And then you will hear nothing no more, right? You're like, oh, I guess they're gone. Then you hear, they start laughing again, like real loud. Then you hear like poundings on the walls, pounding. Our house was on pillars, pounding over the house. You hear somebody running on top of the roof. Then you hear children, but it's not children because it's the demons that we're summoning. All kinds of activity, flying dishes, flying glasses, being moved by an unseen force. So I finally make my spiritual stance, and I went out there and I told them to leave, that I wasn't welcome there. I was hitting them with big rocks. I was already like, I think like 9 or 10, but they wouldn't fly away. They were big. The lechuzas, they were huge. I'm just surprised that they didn't try to, come at me while I was outside fighting against them. Then my grandmother came, and she said, "You're not afraid of them?" And she pointed at them like my grandmother could see them. She went over there and told them something. Next thing you know, they all flew away. Then my grandmother looked at me, and she told me, "Go tell your mom that I took care of it, that they're gone." So that's the way that stayed. Uh, yeah, yeah, they came at me in numbers. They tried numerous times after that. Man, like I said, I've been fighting spiritually all my life. So I've taken a pause in my life because I could continue just to focus on on me, on the works that I do, and just keep it with myself, not let anybody know about what I've been through or share stories with anybody. But spiritual wise, because I've been blessed by the Heavenly Father to be amongst the living numerous times, that I'm taking the time to share the stories with y'all so y'all can understand that the balance is very real. To awaken, uh, don't do what the enemy's doing. You know, enemies casting a spell or something towards you. Don't go off doing the same thing they're doing, because that's, I was just saying, go Beelzebub can't cast Beelzebub because it's negativity with negativity. Overcome them with a love foundation. Say, God bless you, I love you, or you have to. I type under rebuke in Jesus Christ's name. Don't give them what they want. That's all I'm saying. Don't give them what they want. Do the opposite of what they're trying to do, because they're trying to find an opening. Do the opposite. Yes, I've been in a spiritual battle all my life. You just don't understand. Fighting spiritually all my life. So since I'm you could say, open to all this, spiritual warrior, because this is my destiny. You know, it's been like this all my life. I'm able to see things that other people can't see, and the things that are out there, they know, they know I have that ability, so they come to me. You know, they come to me to show themselves to me. I've helped out spirits cross over, because sometimes I've seen spirits, whether it's of a little boy, a little girl, spirit of a man. You know, when I see a spirit, I help them cross over, because they're lost spirits. Uh, but yes, it's something that it's been like this all my life, man. I haven't had the life of a normal kid. I never had the life of a normal kid. You know, it's been like this. But you know, I accept my spiritual gift. You know, I accept my path in life. You know, where when you go through the obstacles or the trials and tribulations, you get some kind of understanding, which you get wisdom and knowledge. Uh, and that's why I got this group, Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, for those that want to be awakened. That's my main mission, is awakening my brothers and sisters and trying to guide people that are on the wrong path to the right path. That's what I do here. It's all a personal decision of how people want to be. It's their choice, right? But my mission is to tell people, hey, how do you expect the Heavenly Father to help you if you're to open up your doors or your windows for Him so you can let Him in, so He can heal you or bless you? You know, that's one of the things. People that say uh, that they don't have that He doesn't exist and all this, because they don't want to have a relationship with Him. You know, how is He going to hear what they're saying? Because if they don't have the faith, then it's not really a prayer; it's just words. How are they going to hear what they're saying if they're not truly praying and saying it in faith? Basically, you know, it's sad, you know, because if they truly pray for Him to come and assist them, He would assist them, He would help them, He will bless them, He will heal them, He will protect them from these unseen forces. Oh, there's always forgiveness there, overbuilt. You can always repent for your sins and ask God for forgiveness. It's never too late to change your ways. Yes. So basically, what I'm telling y'all, when I see all these things that people, when we talk about cryptids and all this, I know where the roots of it comes from because of battled all these things that people see that they're, I guess, afraid of, or they're living in fear because they're thinking they're flesh beings. I'm talking about cryptids. I'm just here to tell you that they are not flesh beings. They are this all the things that I've spoken right now. They have uh, so they're demonic witchcraft or necromancy. They have the abilities to manifest. So basically, what I'm saying is fight against them spiritually. Test the spirit of what you're seeing. How do you test it? Like I said before, God bless you, I love you, or I tie bound and rebuke in Jesus Christ's name. Then you will know what you the manifestation that you're seeing. You're gonna see his true nature, true form. Because when you bring Jesus Christ into the picture, it's gonna disappear. You could say it's like an illusion, like a magical trick. It's gonna disappear because you brought Jesus Christ into the picture. It's gonna flee. Yes, yes, they can, because it's the same thing. The jinn, the DDN, disembodied demonic, they come from the same source. You know, they're demons, demonic. The shapeshifter skinwalker, they can manifest to look like you and me, but it's just a manifestation. But at the same time, they're in spirit, but they have the ability to look real. But you put it to the spiritual test also. You type on it, rebuke it in Jesus Christ's name, and it's going to flee. It's going to disappear because you're fighting it spiritually. Yes, the anything that's unclean or anything that's demonic can jump or attach to somebody that has spiritual openings. If you understand what I'm talking about, there's other spiritual openings that I've seen people get attacked. For people that are saying that they're Wiccan, because they believe the things of Mother Nature and stuff like that, or the people that are in cults. The spiritual opening is there for them to get spiritually attacked also, because you can fight these things through the elements of Mother Nature. You have to fight it through Jesus Christ. So I've seen a Wiccan guy get attacked 2 times in Elms Grove, because he'd go in there speaking that he could do this, he could close portals and do all these things. He didn't even last 5 minutes there at nighttime. The first time that he went there, he got his energy drained. I had to put him on my shoulder and carry him. He came back like a year later saying that he was stronger spiritually and all this. He got literally possessed. And the demon was taking him, because he had full control of him. He was taking him deeper into the woods, that I had to go to the path into the woods to catch to him. And as I was, it's because I was protected and I was praying, Dear Father, and I had to pick him up and take him out of the woods. If I would have not done that, only God knows what would have happened to this guy. The demon had full control of him. That he could have took him, probably jump into the creek and drown. Could have took him onto the highway, get in front of a vehicle and get killed because he had full control of him. When I carried him and I took him to by the vehicle, the other people were freaking out because he had no energy, because he was, like I said, being possessed, and he started seeing the dark shadow beings. Everything that I was seeing, and I was looking, but I couldn't see it through my naked eyes, but he was seeing them, and he was scared. And I said, hey, y'all need to get this guy out of here. We put him in the vehicle. He was banging on the vehicle. He was like freaked out. And that's the last time I ever seen him. I don't know whatever happened to the guy. Uh, all I know, it was him and some other people uh, that came to the area because they heard this before I did the show. That they wanted to help me, right? Because my friend's sister that was in the military brought him to do an investigation there. Because they didn't believe what was happening in that area till they got attacked. They never came back. They had brought they had camcorders and all kinds of stuff, and they never came back to the area. So I don't know whatever happened to them. Yes. Well, I never found out what happened to the guy. There was another person that came from California that, well, because she was in the military, and she said she could, her spirit could leave her body, right, and check out the area, and kind of like the lady from that movie. What is it? That she could leave her body and she could go into another dimension. What is that called? Well, what? Yeah. So she said she could do this, and she was talking real loud. And I said, "Hey, we're sitting in the park. I don't think you want to say that too loud here because what's here?" I said they're very possessive. They're very territorial. So I'm not afraid what's here. I can do this. I can do that. So the sun was setting. When it started getting dark, and I said, "Okay, you say you can do these things. Are you ready?" I said, and she's like, "Take me to the location where you seen that dog man, where you had the encounter of this uh, dog man or demon beings that you seen." So I walked in the path. It was dark, and then she said, "I'm gonna go over there and stand there, and I'm gonna try to leave my body to see the area, right, spiritually." I put her by where the closest one was to me, and I stayed away from her. So she was like maybe 20, 25 feet away from me, or 30 feet away from me, because I didn't go that ways. Next thing you know, she says, "Oh my God." She says, "What is that?" And then she says, "Oh my God." And I see her running. She's running fast, passes by me. This giant red orb is chasing her. The orb passes by me. I'm praying, because she didn't believe in what I believe in. So I'm praying to our Father so my body can be protected. So I see him running. So I stayed in the path, and I'm looking to see any kind of movement. So I start, I'm still praying, and I start walking out. When I start walking out, I find her in the entrance of the path, and she's passed out. Her energy's drained. I guess it drains her energy, but something different was about her. Her body had bumps all over her face, all over her body. And she had like bumps. all over her body. I'm talking about like bumps, like I don't know how I can explain it. She had bumps all over her arms, her legs, her body, and the girls that were there with her, because I was walking with I had a walking stick and I couldn't pick her up because I had a blood clot on my left leg at the time. So they picked her up and they carried her. You know, she was unconscious. Um, they took her and she was like, the same thing that happened to the other guy happened to her. She starts seeing the dark shadow figures and says, they're coming, they're coming. Get me out of here, get me out of here. They put her in the vehicle and they take her away, you know. And I guess that was one of the last times that I've really ever taken anybody into that area. Because whatever was there was having a feast on them, you know, and I didn't want. There was another person that I took to that area also. Yeah, there was some young boys that would come to my house that were my nephew's friends, and I would tell them, "Hey, y'all need to stay away from that area. I'm serious. There's something bad there." So I guess their brother was coming from the Iraqi war, the new Iraqi war, and I was sitting outside my home. It was like 2 something in the morning on my part on a bench. And he had been drinking, you know, and still in the military. And he yells my name, and he said my name. He said my name. Said, "Hey, what's up?" And then he said, "You're full of shit." He said, "You're full of shit," you know. So I just ignored him, and he comes walking down to where I'm at from up the hill, and he said, "Yeah, my brother tells me that you tell him that there's something over there. I think you're full of it. You're full of crap. I just came from this Iraqi war, and I'm not afraid of what's out there. Blah blah blah. And you're full of crap." You know, just insulted me. And I said, "Look, man. So you're drinking. You're drunk." I said, "You know, I'm just leave it alone, man. If you don't believe me, you don't believe me. You know, just leave it alone." And so I want you to take me over there. Take me to that area to show you. I'm going to show you there's nothing there. That it's all in your imagination." That's what they told me. I said, "Look, man. There's something out there. You're drunk. That's a spiritual opening." So that's a spiritual opening. You've already insulted me a lot of times. And that's a spiritual opening. Just by you insulting me, you come at me in a negative way. So I don't want to take you over there. Then he's like, "Take me there now. I'm going to show you." I said, "Well, we do it in Iraq." I said, "Man, I've been in the military too." I said, I was the one that paved the way for you in Operation Desert Storm. I'm not you know. He said, "Take me now." I said, "Look, I don't want to take." He said, "Take me now." And he started like cussing at me, you know. I said, "Okay, let's go." We started walking. So we're gonna go to that swing set over there, but I'm not gonna go further than there. I'm gonna sit on the swing set. So you you're gonna find out the hard way. So you want to see. So when we're approaching the swing set, you could hear when we stopped at the swing set. You heard a woman laughing from inside the woods, and he heard her, and he's like, "I hear you," and he's looking at me. He's like, "You probably set this up." You know, that's what he said to me. I said, "You see me sitting down on the bench. I don't know you was gonna come and insult me and disrespect me. You've been talking to me all along. How am I gonna set this up?" And then he heard her laughing again, and he said, "I hear you." This guy takes off his shirt, he takes off his pants, and he's in his boxers. And he's like, "I'm not afraid of you. I'm going in." He went near the edge of the woods. He's got his hands up in the air, and he's like, "I'm coming in." As he goes to the edge of the wood line, you hear him screaming. He's screaming. and he's just going, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on. When he turns around, he's bleeding from every jugular point, uh, neck area, wrist, here, behind his knees, on his ankles, anywhere there's underneath his armpits. He's like bleeding. He runs, freaking grabs his clothes, and takes off running, like running scared. So I'm there praying all the time. I'm just there praying. So I get up and I say, you're not welcome to follow me or follow him. Leave him alone. And I start praying to our Father, and I don't see him for about 2 weeks. Comes knocking on my door during the day. He's like, hey, Abe, I just want to say to you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for insulting you. You're really looking out for my brothers, and I just want to say thank you for looking out for my brothers. And so I just want to say one thing. Whatever is there is pure evil. He's like, what do you mean? So, well, when I was in combat, every place I was bleeding that night was where I was trying to take my life when I was in combat. I literally tried to take my life in combat. So all the places I was bleeding from, whatever's there knew that I cut myself in those locations. So whatever's there is pure evil. I just want to say thank you. And he said, I'm moving out of here. I don't want to be here. That was the last time I seen him. I try to help out people, you know. For those who, sometimes when a complete stranger just kind of like this group, spiritual krypton, I'm saying these stories to you, and you're like, man, is this true? Is it not true? I'm being sincere. I'm being honest. Just true events that happen. You know, out of these events that happened, I spoke to Big Conduff about all these things that happened to not just the things that I witnessed, but to the people, how they got attacked also. But he never put it on the show. So my episode that was like for like around 35 minutes because I wanted to keep it. The cryptid, the dog man is 100% flesh. That's not what I witnessed when I lived all that time there in Elms Grove, from 2002 all the way to 2015. It was a spiritual battle more than anything that's flesh. That's all I'm saying. I have a picture from those woods. I believe there's an open portal there, in this on top of the trees. I seen a round circle, and out of the round circle, you could see like some kind of beings coming out of there. So there was like a portal by on top of the trees where these demonic entities are coming out of. I would have to track it down through my pictures so I can share it with y'all so y'all can see it. Where you can see a portal where I guess they were coming out of the portal. How you doing, Sister Ivy? Thank you, Sister Delina. Well, I have no reason to lie. This is when these true events that happen, and I'm more sure if I can get a hold of these people that got spiritually attacked there, that would share their story. But at the same time, as scared as a war, I don't think they wanna they might not want to say those stories. I just don't know what happened to them. Uh, the one that was in the military, I don't know what happened to her, and the guy that wasn't in the military, I don't know what happened to him. Uh, thank you for the kind words, Sister Lolo. But yes, I'll take off my hat. Tomorrow I'm gonna go get me a haircut. But my hair is a little bit crazy right now. I still got the marks right there where I got scratched by whatever scratched me in the face when I was 7 years old. See, we can, so you can see it one more time. It messed up my hair, my hairline. Let me see. We can get this. I got a light in here. Let me see. In the mornings when I wake up, you can really see it. Goes from here, goes up. The other one is right here, where I got. You could say clawed or scratched by the lechuzas that were trying to take me when they came for me. Let me see. I can see it. Oh, it up. Goes up. It scratched me in my face. Where they were pissed off because that dark witch died and they came after me. So they scratched my face when I was 7 years old. That's what this is. I never got stitched. They heal by itself, but you can see the scratch that goes up here and it goes all the way up to here. That night, I was sleeping on my bunk bed and I could hear my grandmother calling me to the window, and I kept on going close to the window, getting, and she would say, "Get closer," and I'll get close to the window. It was dark in the room, but you could see the light outside. Like the sky or the night. And as I got close to the window, I could hear my grandmother say, "Get a little bit closer," and a little bit more, a little bit more. And when I got close, I feel a hit. I went flying back, 7 years old, probably weighed like 34 pounds. I was skinny. And the whole screen window got tore out. It got ripped. Something ripped the whole screen window. My mom heard the commotion, and my dad, they got up. They turned on the light. The lights is one of those little strings. They clicked it open on, and they see me. I'm bleeding from my face. They're trying to figure out what's going on. The whole screen window is missing, and the windows are big windows. So my grandmother came because my grandmother lived right beside us in the same lot. We have 4 lots. So she came and she was like, my dad went to go look for her because they asked me what happened. I said, Grandma was calling me, but my grandmother was asleep in her house. So something had mimicked her voice, and I got scratched in the face. You can see it right there. So that happened when I was a kid. So that's how the scars look. They heal by themselves, but now that I'm getting older, sometimes I feel the pain. I feel the pain of those marks where I got scratched. I'm thinking was either I don't think that scratched me was a witch. It was something else that I believe it was a demon that followed us from a different location. If you look up the story of, it's called the Pajaro. Look it up. It happened in Removille, Texas, like in 1976. The Pajaro, the bird, but it's called a Pajaro. Uh, People were getting attacked and stuff like that. They were saying that they would see some kind of pterodactyl, but that's not what I witnessed. that it was no pterodactyl. It was something that was demonic. I've shared the story here where how it happened when I got this crash. Uh, we used to have some friends that live out on the ranch, going towards San Manuel, in between Hargill and San Manuel, down in the Rio Grande Valley. And that day it had been raining because there was a hurricane coming through. So my parents didn't want to be home when that was happening, so we went out to the ranch because they were deeper inland, right? So as we were driving down the dirt road, there was a big fish in the middle of the road where the water was crossing over. So I seen the fish, I got all excited, and I got up the station wagon and ran towards the fish and I grabbed it so it wouldn't get in the water. And then my dad came and he seen the fish, and we're looking at it because we're thinking of a fish fry, right? So when I had grabbed the fish, I heard something screech real ugly. And when I looked to the left, there was like a tree stump sticking out of it was like a little pond, right? On top of that tree stump was a dark, I'll say demon. I'm not going to say humanoid, I'll say demon. Because you could see the sharp talons they had. It was all black. It was dark black, like pitch black. He had wings, like when you talk about bat light wings, well, those kind of wings, but they were huge wings. Um, and he screeched again. When he screeched again, he opened his mouth, and you could see all the sharp teeth he had. And he had dark red eyes. Dark red eyes. He was looking at us, and I was looking at it. I guess he was mad, and he wanted us to drop the fish. But I ran with the fish, and I got in the station wagon. And my dad ran, and we got in, and I said, "Let's go, let's go, let's go." He was freaked out. So we start taking off. But before we start taking off, when he was screeching, it went straight up in the air. It's like it didn't have no feathers. It was all like kind of like bat-like wings, but like you could say demon wings. And it went straight up in the air. So we still had to drive a little bit further to get to the ranch. It came from the sky, and it scratched the top of the station wagon. It went back into the air. It had like supersonic speed of some sort. And as we're driving, it comes parallel to the station wagon, and it starts hitting it, trying to hit us off the road because the road is muddy. So it's trying to hit us off the road, and it's screeching like it looks like the head of a person, but it's all black and it's got red eyes and sharp teeth, and it's just trying to knock us off the road. So we finally make it to the ranch. We make it to the ranch, and we drive into the ranch because their house was in the middle of the ranch. We get there, and we're all freaked out, and we're telling his name was Chewy. We're telling him what happened and all this, and he's like, "Oh, so you finally seen the demon of the area?" And like, what do you mean the demon of the area? Because we have been going there for a while. So he starts talking about that there was a witch that she summoned a demon before she died, and that what we witnessed that night was a demon. So we stayed there for the weekend, and it had stopped raining because the hurricane had passed. So we waited till Sunday to drive home. So as we start driving back home during the day, and to the left and by the trees, I could see it. I could see it following us, jumping from tree to tree. And I was telling my parents, "Hey, it's following us. I see it over there." And my parents are like, "Oh, you're just imagining it. It's in your imagination." And he followed us all the way back to our hometown. And they're like, don't worry about it, just your imagination of what happened that night, you know. Like basically saying I was traumatized. So as I'm playing in my backyard, I see it. He's coming full speed, and it crashes into our vent that's up on the top for the house. The vent that goes into the attic. It went through it. It broke that space. It went right in there. And I told my dad. I went inside. I told him, "Hey, it's here. It's here." I said, "There's nothing here." So I took him over there. I said, "Look, it went through there. I seen it. It went in there. You know, it's all broken." I said, "There's nothing there." And he climbed on the ladder. He's looking with a flashlight, and he's like, "I told you there's nothing up there. That's probably a cat that did that." And I said, "No, I seen it flying, and it went right through there. You know." Well, that's the day that evening is when this happened. Then people in my town started getting attacked. A guy got scratched in the back. He had to get stitches. Uh, there was a girl. There was an FFA riding a horse that he came and almost took her. What I described, the way it looked, she said that's what she's seen. Uh, so they start spotting it everywhere, like in the within the towns and stuff like that. And it's called the Pajaro. You know, some people are saying, "Oh, it's a thunderbird or it's a pterodactyl." Well, it was none of that. It was something demonic, and I have the scars here to prove it on my face. If I would have shaved this, you could probably see the claw marks, you know, on my face. But that's a story. If you look it up, if you put it on YouTube, go on YouTube and look El Pájaro. It'll tell you when it happened, or Google it. It's on YouTube. What happened in my town? You know, I got the scars on my face to prove it. The thing is that my mom told me not to tell anybody anything of what happened to me. That if they asked me what happened, because I had to go to school the following day, which was a Monday, that I was supposed to tell them that a cat scratched me. When I told the teachers that a cat scratched me, they were like, "No, that's no way. That's a cat." You know, I had a patch on my eye, like a towel wrapped around my head, going to school like that. You know, Pajaro is Pajaro. Happened in my town of Raymondville, Texas, like in 1976. There was some cattle being found on top of the poles. I'm not talking about you know how you see some pictures, Pajaro, yes. You see some of the pictures where there's cattle or animals on trees. They were on top of the poles, like literally on top of the power lines. Cattle was being found on top of the power lines. I have a friend that's supposed to make a movie of it. Um, I don't know if he's made it yet, but he's in the process of making a movie of that incident that happened in our hometown. I think they call it the Pájaro. El Pájaro or the Pájaro. So there's times, brothers and sisters, that sometimes I feel a lot of pain here. Where I mean, would this be considered a mark? You know, when they talk about the mark of the beast, would that be considered a mark? You know, as I'm getting older, I'm able to see it more and more. You know, uh, I don't know about this side. If I got it, I think I might have a mark here, but I don't know if it's due to this. You know, it literally tried to grab me from my head to take me out the window, but I was so skinny that I flew back. You know, I flew back with the impact. It felt, I, f- I felt the blow on my head that I flew back. It hit me so hard, You know, I was like unconscious from the blow to the head. Uh, Pajaro. Yeah, that's it. Pajaro. True event that happened in 1976 in Willacy County in Removille, Texas, and others in other places around Willacy County. Yeah, well, I got the scratches from whatever tried to attack me. I'm more than sure that, just put it this way, I know where it's at because I went back there like 5 years ago because my dad still lived in the house. My dad doesn't live in the house no more. Where my dad was a horde, and me and my brother went to go clean the house, get rid of all the extra stuff he had in there. When I was moving a box spring to the last room because we decided that we're gonna make that room into a place to store stuff, right? We're My dad is a handicap. He's missing his left leg because of diabetes. So as I'm moving the stuff to the last room, I see it looking at me from the attic because there was a piece of the sheetrock that was missing because of a leak from the roof. It was looking at me from the attic. So by the time I went to the front room from where my father was, you could say, being demonized, where it entered him. My dad's talking a whole different language. His eyes are rolled back white. My brother comes and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he sees him the way he is. And my brother's like, "What the hell's going on? Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here." And like I said, he's being controlled by something else, demonized. Get in the vehicle, we're taking off. My brother's like, "I don't want to be there no more. Let's go back home, which is Central Texas." And I said, "Look, bro, I never ran away from a spiritual fight." I said, "I think we need to go back because whatever's there probably thinks that we're afraid." I said, "Let's go back." I said, "We will go back how we're gonna handle the situation." I said, "Through a love foundation and through Jesus Christ." So we go back. When we get there, my dad is sitting in the middle of the yard in his wheelchair. And then he looks at us. He's like, "Hey, how y'all doing?" Like, he don't remember what happened to him. The good thing about it is that my dad is now at like a nursing home, and he don't live in that house no more. That house, he gave it up to live in his property in the home. He gave it up to live in the nursing home. They made him sign a piece of paper. So now he lives in a different town. But I'm glad that he's not in that home anymore because of the demon that lives in that attic. So, as far as I know, he's doing good. When he was living in the house, he was real skinny. He had given up in life. He was real skinny. Ever since they moved him to this nursing home, he's getting a lot of weight. He looks like his own self. So I guess he got free from the demon that was residing in that house. But I just sharing that story with y'all. I understand, Lydia Cabrera. It's just right here in Spiritually Cryptid Encounters. I just share stories of my experiences, and I don't mind having people on here that want to go one on one, speak. You know, the only thing I say, if somebody wants to share their story here in Spiritual or Cryptid Encounters, you have to contact me through Messenger under ABESIAS, ABESIAS. So like that, I can, if I do when I do a live, I can send you the link so you can join me. The only thing is that when I go live is at nighttime. Yeah. You know, sometimes there's people that have spiritual openings even when they're old, that they have forgiven, they have repented for their sins, so they're easy prey. They're easy prey for these unseen forces, demonic forces. That's why there's a lot of activity like that in nursing homes, because people might have an attachment on them, uh, in which, the, there's activity in nursing home. Nursing homes, a lot of activity in hospitals, a lot of activity in the suicidal wards when the people are trying to take their lives. A lot of activity there. When you talk about shadow beings, they're there. I guarded a soldier while I was in the army in the Fifth Ward of Darnell Hospital on Fort Hood, Texas, and they were everywhere. There's dark shadow beings, demons. They were going from room to room, messing with people. Yeah, like I said, I have the ability to see. So hospitals, just every time I go to a hospital, I always see some kind of activity. Funeral homes. I mean, I see them all the time. That's why I capture them on videos when I do my lives, or when I go investigate. Then I make a short reel, take a screenshot of the picture from the video, and you know just share it so people can see what's there. But I'm just sharing a little bit. Like I said, I share a lot of things to a lot, but I'm just so people can understand where I'm coming from. This is true events that I've experienced, that I've been through, and I share it here with whoever is tuning in. Sharing my experiences. I figure since I'm getting older, I don't know what the future holds for me. I know with Jesus Christ, you know, all is possible. But I'm doing these videos right now while I still have my sanity, right, or my state of mind. That's why I'm doing these videos. That if people, and I put certain titles to them, so if people are experiencing something, they can look to the titles. It's like, oh, here we go. Like a little library of information. That's why I created Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. I have a lot of videos here. Thank you, Lolo, for being here tonight, for tuning in. So we got a summer side alive. Work for hospitals 15 years. How many of the patients do you think are possessed? She said 90%. Yeah. At the psych wards. I have a friend that was working at a psych ward in Austin, and he said some of those people had like superhuman strength, that you had to get like 3 or 4 guards just to restrain them. You see my buddy that popped in here that was with me in the military, Gilbert, that popped here the other night. Well, he that's what he does. Ever since he got out of the army, he's been working with patients in the psych wards. That's what he does. He was working in Austin for a lot of, and he's working in San Antonio. He's originally from San Antonio, but that's the work that he does. You're welcome, Sister Lolo. I know that you got stories. Everybody here has a story to share. Sharing is caring. That's what I believe in, you know. So here, you know, nobody's gonna. We're here to help each other out as brothers, sisters in Christ. So you have a story to share, you know, just share it, you know. And here's a good place to share, because I don't mind people come doing a live with me. Uh, just like I said, just let me know, and I'll let you know a time that we can do a live, you know, or you can tell me your schedule. And I'm a person that does lives at nighttime, so uh, or I can do one during the day too. It doesn't matter. You know, you just got to let me know so you can share your story. You know, sharing is caring. Don't worry about. I don't worry about what people are gonna think about me or anything, because it's something that I went through. Why should I worry about what people think about me? It's something that I experienced, and I'm speaking in truth. I'll put a lie detector on that, you know, just to show that I'm speaking the truth. I have no reason to lie. You know, it's just I want to bring the spiritual awareness to people of the things that do exist. You know, just in case something happens, that they encounter something of what I'm speaking of, that they'll be able to fight spiritually against it. Yeah, I'm a night owl. I've been like this for many years. You know, when I was in the military, I did a lot of night shift jobs. After the military, night shift, we work graveyard shifts, work all throughout the day. So, oh wow, yeah, I believe you, Summer Side of Life. I believe that 100%. The guy I was guarding in the Fifth Ward, uh, his name was Sergeant Edwards. May he rest in peace. Uh, I seen him walking through the quad. He was coming from Bosnia, and he was talking to himself. You know, like, why is this guy talking to himself? And I said, oh, maybe he's talking on the phone or something, you know. But he was talking to himself. I was supposed to go to the field that day. As I'm waiting to be taken to the field, they get a phone call saying that a person tried to commit suicide. And then instead of sending me to the field, they sent me to guard this guy, night shift. And my sergeant major didn't like me, and he said if anything happens to him, if he cuts himself again, I'm gonna take your rank. That's what he said, and he was laughing, you know, like he was being serious. And so you're gonna have the night shift. If anything happens to him, it's gonna take your rank. So I go there and start guarding this guy, and the first thing I witnessed when I went in there was the dark shadow spirits. So I was like, man, it's gonna be. I, I, I had to carry a Bible with me because I would see the dark shadow spirits. It's like some of the people that were walking in the hallways, you could see that they were being demonized. They'd be looking at me a certain way, so I would just pray, you know, say the Our Father when I was there guarding them. Uh, he tried to cut himself with, you know, those little orange juices. It's got the tin that you have to pull the little aluminum foil off. He wrapped that up real tight, and I caught him doing that, and I took it, I confiscated it from him, and he tried to use his nail to take a screw out of the shower, you know, the bottom drain. I confiscated that from him, and I said, you know what? From now on, I said, you go to use the restroom, take a shower. You couldn't leave the door open, and I'm going to be watching you. I don't care because you're under my watch. So that's the way it was, you know. He had to use the restroom. I'll be right there watching him. He had to go take a shower. I'll be right there watching him. And one night, because I would place my chair in the entrance of the door, because you know I was always praying or reading verses from the Bible, because of the activity, and I witnessed this dark shadow being right beside him. At first, it's a dark shadow being, and then it turns into the form of a little boy, and the little boy's hitting him on the head. Boom, boom, boom. He wakes up and he goes like this. And he gets up and he says, "Do you see that? Did you see that?" I say, "Yeah, I seen something." I said, "What did you see?" He said, "That was my brother." I said, "Your brother? Your brother's not here." I said, "Yeah. Well, sitting me in the head was my brother." He's like, "What do you mean is your brother?" So when we were young, we were swimming in the lake and I tried to save his life, but he drowned. I believe my little brother's haunting me, right? I said, "I seen something that looked like your brother, but I seen something else before that. I don't think that's your brother. I think it's something demonic that's messing with you." And I said, "Let me pray for you." And he said, "I don't want no prayer." But I still prayed for him. The Our Father, when I was praying the Our Father, he turned to face the wall. The reason he was there is that when he came from Bosnia, his wife had left him and took the kids with him. He couldn't handle that. That's why he did what he tried to do. That's why, you know, he tried to take his life because his wife had left him. So I seen how he would change, his demeanor would change, where sometimes he'd be laughing, looking at me and just laughing. He kind of like reminded me of The Exorcist, the way he would act, and he would be looking at me, and he would just laugh real wicked. Then the doctors called me one time. So we want to ask you a question. We try to talk to him. He never says nothing to us. But I always see that he talks to you about certain things. What is he telling you? You know, doctors, they don't want to hear, they don't want me to tell them. If I would have told them I think he's being demonized, they'd probably report me to my sergeant major and they'll remove me from there. So I didn't tell him. I said, "Well, no, he just talks about this and, you know, certain things." I said, "Well, see, we try to talk to him, but he never says nothing to us." But so it stayed that way, you know. All I know is I told my sergeant major, I said, "Screw it, I'll tell the sergeant major. Sergeant major, you need to get a priest or an exorcist over here. I believe he's being demonized because I seen the demon that was messing with him. He's being demonized." Sergeant major, "I don't believe in that shit. Fuck him. So I'm going to chapter him out of the military. I don't believe in that." So that's what he did. He chaptered him out of the military, said, "If something happens to you spiritually, you're going to be held responsible. Whatever happens to him, Sergeant Major. I don't I don't believe in that shit." I don't think he even believed in God, you know. So he chaptered him out of the military. A week later, after he left, he took his life. Sergeant Edwards. He was a medic. He was a good guy. He was a good guy. But, you know, when I heard what I heard, I was upset. I was pissed off. You know, that could be a spiritual. I was upset with the sergeant major because he could have helped him. You know, he just, but he, you know, all in due time, you're gonna pay for that because he could have helped that man. and he chose not to. So I'm more than sure when he goes to the day of judgment, the Heavenly Father is going to remind him of that day. Yeah. His name was Soren Edwards. He was African American, but he was like albino. He had green eyes, tall guy, like 6'2", 6'3". Every time I go to sea call, he was always helping me out. That's why when I guarded him, it's like that's not the same guy. I knew there was something different with him, you know. But what can you do when you have to follow orders and and you know what's messed up? There's a lot of people coming from foreign countries. Like he was in Bosnia. He might have had a negative attachment. People that go to Iraq, to Kuwait. The djinn is running loose over there. So there's a lot of soldiers that are coming back with negative attachments from those countries. You could say possessed or demonized or bonded. That's why you hear all the crazy stories that you hear. If if the if our government was about good, they would do good for the soldiers. So I'm just saying that our government is corrupt. A lot of corruption. There's a lot of evil works there. I just wish that if I had the wisdom and knowledge that I have now, I would have been able to help them out even better. It's just I was limited. I'm guarding a guy that's detained in a psych ward. And the people that are taking care of him is the doctor. So I'm just a sergeant. Even though I have spiritual knowledge where I can see certain things, I was only limited to help him out so much. My job was only to make sure nothing happened to him when I guarded him at night. Yeah, there's a lot of homeless veterans. Yes, many. We lost many. Many veterans. Another thing is the medicines that the VA gives people. I know they've been following me around the VA because I went today to an appointment and this guy surfaced up and he said, "Oh, you're a 19 kilo." But it's people that work for the hospital, so I'm more sure they know that I do my lives here and I speak about this, and I don't hold anything back about anything that I say, whether I'm talking about spiritual or I'm talking about combat. I say it for what it is. And they've been today. They were following me at the VA. This guy was following me. I did INR, and he's trying to pretend like it was a 19 kilo, like it was a tanker and all this stuff, asking me questions. He was in the lobby. I was sitting at. I went to go get blood. By the time I come out, I'm walking back because I want to go back the same direction that I went in VA. And this guy sitting in some of the chairs over there by the wall, and then he asked me, "Oh, I'm a 19 kilo," and I said, "Yes." And he's having a conversation with me, and he says that he's a 19 kilo and all this stuff, but I don't think he was. He was just following me because they got cameras everywhere. Then he's like, "Well, how many times do you come and do this INR stuff?" Like they know, they have my records. They know I do it once a month. But I just say, hey, you have a nice day. God bless you. And I'll walk away, But in that sensible way, you have to worry about people like that when you're already fighting other principalities, fighting other forces spiritually, then you have to worry about people coming up against you in a negative way because you speak the truth and you say it for what it is or what you're feeling. That's me, I say what I feel, they know. And just like they know that's why they play those kind of games, well, I know what they're about. Uh, like some of the people that troll me, you know, they haven't walked my shoes. They haven't been through what I've been through. For them to say anything bad about me, uh, and I wouldn't wish the things that I've been through upon my enemies, because I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. My trials and tribulations, I wouldn't. So the only thing I gotta share with y'all is my experiences, share my wisdom and knowledge with y'all. I don't think that's nothing. You could say it's a form of therapy, right? When a person has PTSD, which I was in the front lines in the Battle of Medina Ridge, fought the Medina. You have to talk about the things in your life in order for you to know who you are as an individual, right? I know that I'm Abe Cias, or my full name is Abram, but everybody calls me Abe. And I know that I'm attending the Love Foundation. I place Jesus Christ first. No matter what a doctor might tell me, I always leave it up to Jesus Christ because I don't. If it's something negative, I'm not accepting it. Right? I'm not accepting the negativity. So in saying that, uh, like I said, they come from all directions. You got the DDN I deal with, shadow figures, uh, brujas, brujos, witches, warlocks, in which they still come to me. When I try to go out having a good time, go dancing, they surface up. Uh, People from the government, they know that I have this spiritual encrypted encounters, and they know that I've put them on blast. Here on spiritual encrypted encounters at Sarncias, they know, so they follow me around. So it's kind of like, golly, I got trolls following me around. I got people from the VA following me around. I got the DDN, shadow figures, Lechusas, skinwalkers, shapeshifters. No, that's all right. I'll take the lead. They can follow me all they want to. uh, but I'm always going to maintain a love foundation and have Jesus Christ in my life. Yeah, sometimes in life, people say, hey, keep everything to yourself. Don't tell nobody about what you're going through. Just keep it to yourself. VA, that's how they operate. You go to their classes for PTSD, they just want you not to say nothing about it. The only thing they want to know, are you willing to take our medication? I said, what is your medication? They give you a little bottle. I always turn it around and see the side effects. Side effects, suicide. Nope, I'm not taking that. Get me out of the program, or whatever. But it's kind of like, that's what they do. I mean, then it's like the people they go to the programs, they're walking around like zombies. I had my friend that went and enrolled in the program. They were keen to keep him for like 2 months there. Not even the two weeks. I seen him in the VA, and I'm trying to talk to him, and he's just like this. And I'm going like this in front of his face, and he's not responding to me. Like he's in a zombie-like state. You know. they have a facility there where it's the windows are pitch black. I was knocking on that door. It's pitch black, right? The door opens, it's a lady, and it's pitch black inside there. And this is what she tells me. You don't want to be in here. You don't want to be in this place. This is a bad place. You don't want to be in here. That's all right, ma'am. You have a blessed day. She closed the door, locks it up, and I leave. But that's what she told me. It was a Hispanic woman. So only God knows what kind of torture or torment or mind games the government is playing on veterans. Yeah, they play those kind of games. You know how many appointments have canceled on me? I'm trying to get my toe fixed because I cracked my toenail since last year. And every time that it comes down for me to get the procedure done, they cancel out on me. So I've been having a broken toenail that needs to be pulled out. And every month they keep on moving it, changing it, saying that doctors are on vacation. That's what they tell me. Doctors are on vacation. Doctors are on vacation. It's like, yeah. Yeah. See, in the army, you ever seen the movie Expendables? What does Expendables mean? That means that we can be replaced. They see us just as a number. They're probably like, dang, we messed with this guy so many times. Now he's talking bad about us. No, I'll say it like this. Now he's speaking the truth about us and he's making us look bad because we're evil people. I'm just calling it how it is. Calling the kettle black, you know? Yes, they've been doing that a long time. They tried to take me out of King Doctors Hospital back in, what year was that? Oh man, I can't even remember what year. The King Doctors Hospital. They tried to eliminate me. They sent me from the VA there because they had no room in the VA. So they tried to take me out at King Doctors Hospital. So, but I ain't worried about them or who they're affiliated with the government because I got Jesus Christ with me. I'm not worried about them. Jesus Christ protects me. And Jesus Christ can heal me from any kind of ailment. They always follow me around. If I had to record, one of these days I'm going to record so y'all can see what I'm talking about. See, in the VA, they know where you've been. They know where I've been in combat. Well, we did in combat, so they follow us around because they see us as a threat, as we're the enemy because of we've been in combat and the experience that we have. You know, they see us as a threat, so they follow us around. So I'm used to it already, and it's like I just know who's who. So I just like, whatever. They play those games, and then they try to make you look bad and try to say that it's your imagination or it's just you, but they're playing the games. You know, no, that's no different than when trolls, which I know what the trolls are, that are trying to play games with me here in Spiritual and Cryptid Encounters. And it's just a game, you know, to them. Mind games. No different than what the VA does and they don't want to help the soldiers. I've been trying to get help for a lot of things, you know. I never got any help for PTSD from them. I haven't gotten help for my shoulder, my left shoulder, that's that's messed up. You know, I just like, you know what, screw it. I said, let me just work out and keep my body active. So, you know, they're not about helping nobody. There's always trying to give you a hard time. I go file for something for a claim, and the lady starts going off on me, like being very disrespectful, very rude. And I was like, look, man, why are you talking to me like this? You know, I'm not here for you to come and disrespect me. I'm just here to file a claim, and you're coming at me in a negative way, you know. And they always got cameras, and they do that intentionally to try to trigger you to see if you're going to get pissed off or say something to them so they can write you up. You know, they play a lot of games at the VA. Uh, I was around all the areas where there was the burning pits and where they were burning chemicals, and I got hit by a blood agent, and I tried to some paperwork. They deny me. They deny me for everything that I'm going through. Just put it this way: when the doctor sees me, she says, "You're still here," like basically saying, "You're still alive." As many times as we reject you, you're still here. You're still alive. Yeah, when you got Jesus Christ in your life, you don't think like that. You know, you're happy. In spite that you're going through something, I don't dwell on what I've been through or what they don't want to help me. I just continue to move on forward. Right? The Heavenly Father blesses me in many ways. Sorry to hear that, chosen one. Yeah, they tried to take me out in the ICU room. But that's a different story for another day. Uh, what time we got? We got 5:26. We've been going, I don't know how long, because it's saying we've been on for 53 minutes, but I think we've been here longer. I just want to say thank you. Gracias. Uh, to all my brothers and sisters here viewing of Spiritual Encrypted Encounters. Love all the likes that you got here for me. Uh, appreciate y'all for tuning in and just listening to a veteran just talk away, you know. If sometimes that's what we have to do, we have to listen, just like you're listening to me. I don't mind listening to y'all. If you want to discuss something with me or you have something to say because you're going through something, I'm a listener. That's how I've always been, is listen when somebody's saying something, because sometimes people have to get things off their chest in order for them to feel better. You know, I'm a good listener, and I care about humanity. So I'm always here for those who want to share something, you know, let me know. We'll go live here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters when I do my next live at night for the night owls. Thank you, Sister Delina. Thank you, Jams. I think we have a troll surfaced up here. Yeah, a troll surfaced up towards the end. I think some of my admins been booting out the trolls during the live, and a lot of people, I guess, they went to bed already. Yeah, that's very true, Sister Amanda. Is all fails pray to Jesus Christ, but You got to pray in true faith and true belief in Jesus Christ. And you got to be on the right path in order for Him to hear your prayer. Some people say, all I have to do is pray to God. But then if they go off and do negative stuff, the prayer is not really being heard because God, they're still doing the negative deeds. Article 99. I don't know, brother. Charles, Article 99. Somebody say, pray, hope, and don't worry. Worry is useless. God is merciful. Yes. Thank you. But in saying that, brothers and sisters, thank y'all. God bless you and your families. And we'll be doing a live later on tonight. Like I said, if anybody wants to share a story, let me know. I can always send you a link so we can go one-on-one live tonight, later on tonight. If you want to willing to share your story of what you've been through your life or what you're going through, sharing is caring. In saying that, God bless y'all and y'all have a beautiful, blessed day. Peace out, everybody.